Yes, good afternoon, Dipti, Jaipal, Rishabh, and Sangya.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, let's start the class. We were discussing about the LLP and its process. We discussed, I think the last case we discussed was this Oasis water products. Yes. Yes, Sangya.
सर अभी तो स्क्रीन ब्लैंक हो गई. Yes, sir.
Fine. So let us just proceed further with this. We concluded that this Oasis water products LLP cannot be there because Oasis Water India cannot be there because both are the identical names, and LLP can't means register with the name where the name of the LLP is identical with the already existing name, and the name is prohibited by the law. So we have some other names also. So we will just proceed further with the. So let us just see that what can happen with these names. Okay. So these are the names which are the other names by which can LLP be registered with these names or not. Proceed further with this so that we can discuss it one by one. So the first is JK LLP, where J and K already is registered LLP. So can one more LLP called J.K. LLP can be registered or not?
No, sir.
Yeah, anyone else? But J and K is something which is there, na? J and K is there. So
Sir,
yeah. Yeah, tell me. You were saying something? You were saying something, Sangya?
sir, but it's only J and K, so it can be registered if the full name is not there.
Anyone? Anything else? Anyone else? Anything else you want to say? Come on.
Sir, it can be registered.
Means what are your means you can say what are your points on the basis of which you can say it can be registered? Yes, come on, Deepti.
Sir, the proposed name is like closely phonetic. Like it resembles the name like JK and J and K LLP is the same. It has the same pronunciation.
So pronunciation is same. So can it be can the new LLP can be registered by the same name or what? What is your say in that?
Yes, sir, it can be registered.
Sangya was saying
Sir,
it cannot be registered.
no. No, sir, it will not be registered.
So what is your point? How can you say that?
The same reason as Dipti, because it has the same pronunciation.
Okay, because it is having the pronunciation, but one of you are saying that it can be registered. Another one is saying that it cannot be registered. So what should I just take it up? Means how should I take it up as such.
Pronunciation se, but how does it matter? Because spelling is different, so I think we can register it.
Sir, I agree with Sangya because a name it should be generally registered if a name shall not generally be registered if it includes a proposed name, because we read that somewhere.
Okay, so according to you, it cannot be or it can be?
It cannot be.
It cannot be. Okay, fine. Just hold on. We will discuss some other things also. Next is Farmer Cooperative LLP. Can it be registered? Yeah. Farmer Cooperative LLP is there. So can it be registered with the same name? Farmer Cooperative LLP. Yes? Anyone? Anyone else in the class? Cooperative. What do we mean by this word cooperative?
Sir, there should be I think there should be a noun, and this is a general noun. I mean collective noun.
So can LLPs be registered as a cooperatives? What?
Yes, sir, it cannot be registered.
Why?
No, sir, it cannot be registered.
Why so? What is the reason? And let me give you a hint. We yesterday studied the reason about it. Yesterday we have studied the reason why it cannot be registered as a cooperative. Come on. Okay, tell me, let me just go a bit more closer. The first question yesterday was this only. Related to this. The first question which we discussed yesterday is related to this one.
So liability.
No, it's not about liability. What it is about?
So it was about the non-profit and profit wala sort of thing. The first
Absolutely.
question.
Yes. So what it is now? What is a cooperative?
Sir, cooperative is for basically the we say like society ka welfare sort of.
It's a non-profit type of thing.
Yes, sir.
And as it is a non-profit type of thing, LLPs cannot be registered as a.
It is not registered in NLP.
Yeah. Very correct. Right. So this is what it is. And okay, let us proceed further with the next one. Next is a Farmer Sahakari LLP. Can this be registered? Farmer Sahakari LLP. Anyone? Anyone in the class?
No, sir, it cannot be registered.
Why?
Sir, Sahakari also means cooperative society, so.
Very good. I was just testing your knowledge in Hindi. Very good. So this will also not be registered. Next is your UCO Federal LLP. Can this be registered? UCO Federal LLP. UCO Federal.
No, sir. Because sir, words like federal, national, and central cannot be uh, of the private of a private organization.
Means
So if we add a federal, we might relate it to the government.
fine. Federal might be related to government. One more name is there, which is called UCO. UCO is already a bank which is registered in India. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So both the things. As the name is called Federal, it will not be registered as such. And at the same time, this is related to UCO. Okay. So both the things are there, so it cannot be registered as with this name. Next is a Union Carbide LLP. Can it be registered as such? Yes. Come on. You know about Union Carbide? There was a Bhopal gas kaand, if you remember. It happened in 80s. And this company, Union Carbide Limited, actually there was an explosion and this poisonous gas spread over. Isn't it? But
Yes, sir.
this company is no more there now. Now the question is whether a LLP can be registered with this name or not. Yes. Tell me. हाँ जी. Please tell.
Sir, it cannot be registered.
Why so? What is the reason for that? There has to be substantial reason for the same.
Sir, it might be offensive to people from who were affected by the incident.
So what? The company is already closed. Right?
Sir, it's already closed. That's why it cannot be registered.
But anyhow, it was there. Huh?
So practically, why would someone keep a name of a company that destructed so many lives?
That is totally different thing. But yeah, this is also one of the thing you can say, right? That this is something. Now, what the thing is, the government has taken over this. Union Carbide is still there. It is actually giving the reimbursement to those people who were who got affected during that period of time. You got it? It is still giving the reimbursement to them, and that is the reason why it is a you cannot just open LLP at this name, right? So next is your Microsoft British India Limited.
No, sir.
Right?
No, sir.
Why?
Multinational, it's a famous multinational company.
You cannot keep.
Oh.
Fine. What about this DIMO DIMO LLP? SVRP LLP? DIMO and SVRP LLP. What about these? Come on.
Sir, demo, it's not it should not be registered.
Why?
So it is not very definite.
Okay, yes, very good. Because it is not at all having any meaning out of it. Yeah, but here you can convince the LLP registrar that DIMO are four different names, and these are the four different names of the four different partners who are in the LLP, and that's why we want to open this LLPSS. So at that moment of time, it may be considered. The same is the case with the with this SVRP. Okay. So same is the case with the SVRP that can be, right? Fine. Next is Steel Bank LLP and SSI LLP.
Sir, Steel Bank, it cannot be registered because it includes the word bank, and
Okay.
words like bank, insurance and banking, and venture capital or mutual funds, like similar name, they can't be approved. If they have approval from the regulatory authority obtained by time of application for incorporation, then they can be changed to LLP.
Very good, Dipti. And who is the regulatory authority for banks? What is the regulatory authority for banks? Who issues currency notes for everyone?
RBI.
That's what the thing is. So you need to have approval from the RBI in order to open such type of thing, and then only you can proceed further. What about ILLP?
सर SSI तो मार्क होता है.
SSI नहीं, वो ISI होता है बेटा.
कंफ्यूज हो गया सर. ओके.
कोई नहीं. What is SSI? SSI is small scale industry.
हाँ तो सर नहीं होगा.
Why? Because it's a famous
Because
application.
हाँ सही है.
You know. Fine. Good. So what I will do is I will mark absent to everyone else in the class today, except both of you, Dipti and Sangya. Survi, are you there? Survi Singhal.
Yes, sir.
Beta, participate karo. Okay, so this is no
Haan
for
ji.
everything, right? So it is no for
What?
all. Means no name can be kept out of these. No name is a perfect name to be kept as a name of the LLP, right? Okay. So next question is Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, and D are the partners of LLP. Mr. A and Mr. B are designated partners. LLP agreement provides that Mr. A has double the voting rights as compared to Mr. B and Mr. C, while Mr. D has no voting rights at all. Okay. Now, do you decide this validity of the agreement? Is such agreement valid, or what is the position in this case? Anyone of you?
Sir, invalid.
Valid?
Sir, invalid because everybody has equal voting rights.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
You're very correct, but this is in contrary to the agreement. Yeah, anyone else? Surbi, you have something to say over here?
It should not be valid.
It will not be valid. Why? Means you want to go with Sangya?
Because
Sangya
they, yes, sir.
Okay. What else? Means what is the reason? Reason.
So because everyone should get equal voting rights.
Okay.
So
Yashasvi,
that there should be a sole judge for the validity of every vote tendered at such polls.
there has to be the
Sir, a sole judge should be there for the validity of every vote.
sole judge. What is that?
So like equally provided, like there should be equal voting rights.
Okay, and if somebody has invested more capital, then
So that should not affect because they all are partners and they all have equal rights.
and some partner, if he wants to surrender his rights, then
So this is a confusing question.
Mansi, would you like to say something over here?
Sir, as you told that if a partner wants to surrender, so that's his personal choice. He's doing it like himself. No one is forcing him, so he's allowed to make his own choices. And I don't know much about the subject, so I'm not very sure about whatever I'm saying.
Good, good. Naman
Sir,
Jain, are you there?
sir,
Yeah, yes, India.
so your screen is there is something on the screen.
Now it is okay.
Okay, sir.
Actually, your class was on the. I was watching that. Whom should I ask the question? Whom should I involve? That is the thing. So I hope the question is clear to you.
Sir, what is LLP?
LLP is Mansi, LLP is limited liability partnership, and this is also one of the organization which have come into existence in the recent past. So before the amendment of Companies Act in 2013, this is one of the act which has been passed in order to incorporate partnerships. Actually, previously partnerships are incorporated. Partnerships are not incorporated. They were only registered, and incorporation means giving a partnership a legal entity. Okay, so it provides a partnership a legal entity, and besides it provides a partnership limited liability also, which both of these things were not there in the partnership act before 1932. Okay,
Sir,
so
hello.
yeah, please.
Sir, sir, I want to contradict my own statement. Sir, yes, it can be valid because they have decided in the agreement.
Yes, because what the thing is, it totally depends on the agreement. So what Mansi actually guessed was correct. Okay, let us just see. And now you have come to a point because agreement is over and above all, and we have flexibility for the same, right? So here we go. Can you see this? The voting rights of the partners, right? They can be specified in the LLP agreement. So voting rights of the partner is not determined by the contribution brought in by partner. It means that a person who has given more capital, he cannot be still he will be having one vote. Okay. And if the LLP agreement is silent about the voting rights of the partners, each partner will be entitled to one vote, irrespective of the capital brought by him. That's what Sangya and Survi, both of you said the correct thing, and Dipti also. And that because that is irrespective, because you told that there should be one vote, and it doesn't depend on the what contribution they have brought. But in this case, there is an agreement. Now this happens when there is no agreement at all. So if we apply all these rules, it means that one partner, what just now Mansi told, that a partner, if he wants, he can surrender his rights. So one partner is he doesn't wants to vote, and he has actually declared as if he will not be voting and he will not participate in any of the business decision making. So it's his choice. He can do it. Okay. So it means that he might be relying more on the other partners, or he might be very busy that he doesn't wants to actually contribute in the running of the business, or whatsoever may the reason be. Right. So he is having all the rights to choose his way. Getting everyone? Fine. So
So,
next question.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So any confusion in this?
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Urvi, tell me.
Sir, tell me, sir, you said that if one has more investment than the other,
Ah.
then will it make any difference in the voting?
No, it will not make any difference. Even because one vote is for everyone. One vote is for everyone only. Okay, that will not make any difference. But at the same time,
It's
still, if listen, if there is no contract to the contrary, if the contract is not there, everyone will be having the same. You can say rights. Okay, means voting rights will be same for everyone, whatsoever amount they have contributed. right? If the agreement is silent, but if the
So the
agreement
only
says,
so the only difference is if the partner agrees to give up his votes, like
absolutely, and also partners have agreed that one person will be having more voting rights than others. The same thing is here
okay.
also. If you see the question over here, not only the partner is uh, having has surrendered his rights, but here if you see A has double voting rights as compared to B and C, and B and C have agreed for this, and with D has no voting rights, or you can say D has given his voting rights to A, so A will be having double voting rights, and B and C is having one right. So that can be done. That can always be done. And it may also happen sometimes that the partner having the voting rights, he may not vote at all. So what can you stop him, or can you just force him to vote? You cannot. So the situation is almost the same. So here the flexibility has been given that they can enter into a agreement, but they cannot do it haphazard. Okay, so there has to be an agreement that we agree upon these things, and that has to be registered with the registrar of LLPs. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. So let us now proceed further with the next question. Now you see this. If an LLP is incorporated on 1st January 2009 and the first financial year is from 1st January 2009 to 31st March 2009. Of course, the first financial year will be ending on 31st March 2009 only. Then what is the time for the appointment of the first auditor? Then when they can appoint the first auditor? Further, how the first auditor is appointed in case of failure by the designated partners? Both the things. Suppose, for example, the first auditors have failed to just, they have skipped, or they didn't remember to just appoint the designated partners. Then what will happen? Yes. Okay. So
Sir,
what will be the, yes, yes.
sir, in LLP, they have to appoint an auditor within the 30 days before the end of the financial year.
Very good.
So, sir, in like in the other words, like the auditor is appointed on the right time, like the first March on 1st Jan, or either if the
Yes, yes.
sir, here it's written that it's the year financial year ends at 31st March, so they can appoint the auditor on 1st March.
Okay. On first March, they should appoint the auditor. But Deepti, this is the first financial year, and auditing actually will start after 1st of April. After the financial year, the auditing will start, and for the first financial year is the same provision. Actually, what you are saying is for the subsequent financial years. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so the designated partners annually appoint the auditors of the LL. Okay, so the first auditor must be appointed before the end of the financial year for which they are appointed. First auditors. First auditor means for the first time you are appointed. So in this case, the auditor should be appointed on or before 31st of March 2009. And in case if there is a failure by the designated partners to appoint the first auditor within the prescribed time, then the partners may appoint the first auditor. Means the other partners, those who are there, they are having all the powers to appoint the first auditor because the designated partners have skipped it or they have not appointed. So it can be appointed. Now my question over here is that what will happen if these partners are also not at all aware of this right to appoint the auditor? What will happen in that case? Means ultimately the auditor has not been appointed at all. Or what will happen?
Sir, I think penalty will be given to the firm.
Yes, there will be penalties and prosecutions, and there will be one notice also, and even sometimes there will be condonation of no notice, because if they have some sufficient reason of not appointing the auditor, they will just tell the registrar to condone the delay, okay, and they will get a new date before which they have to appoint the auditor, right? They may give some excuses, they may give some reasons to skip the penalty. and after giving them appropriate opportunity of being heard, the registrar can take a decision of penalizing them or giving them a time, whatever. Okay, but anyhow, one or the other way, they are going to receive a notice from the registrar of LLPs in such a situation. Okay, is it okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there is a boy also in the class, I thought. So who said yes, sir, just now? Anyways, chalo. I thought I'm teaching only to the girls in the class. Fine. Okay, so let us just now proceed further with the next problem. Just see this. If now this is what Dipti has partially answered.
Sir, it's not visible.
Not visible?
There is a screen like in front of the question.
I hope it is visible now. You refresh it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yeah, fine. So if a subsequent financial year of LLP is from 1st April, now we have ended with the 31st of March. Now the next year has come. Okay. So it's starting from 1st April 2009 to 31st March of 2010. Then the subsequent auditor may be appointed by designated partners at any time before 28th of February 2010. You have already told it. Okay. So this is for the case of this was the case. Okay. And this is I think, yeah, this is the next problem. So as you just now told, Dipti, you told, na, because it has to be appointed 1 month before, right? So a month before,
Yes,
and the month is month of the financial year is closing on 31st of March 2010. By 28th of February 2010, it should be appointed, or maybe by 1st March, that is okay. So in case of failure of designated partners to appoint the subsequent auditor before 28th of February 2010, means then the subsequent auditors, can they be appointed by the partners of the LLP? In such a situation, what will happen? Means that is a right of designated partners. And even better, I say it's a duty of a designated partners to just appoint these people, auditors, and in subsequent years, 1 month before. Okay, so they have failed. So can these auditors? Can these normal partners can appoint the subsequent auditors or not?
yes, sir. They can.
Okay. What is the opinion of others?
Sir, if the designated partners have not appointed, the partners can assume this responsibility.
Okay. Sahil
Yes,
Khandelwal.
I agree with
Want to say
Dipti.
something? Yeah, Yashasvi. What do you want to say?
Yes, sir. I agree with Dipti because designated partner is like there is a place of it, but everybody is having the equal rights. So that's why it is possible that the partners can also do the same thing.
Yeah, you are very correct, because if the role is not being played properly by the designated partners, the entire LLP will be in problem. And in order to save the LLP from the problem, the other partners may assume, and they can act as a designated partners to appoint at least auditor, so that penalties, prosecutions, and notices should not be served on the LLP. Otherwise, everyone will be in problem. Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, so here subsequent appointment or reappointment of the auditors must be made 1 month before the closing of the financial year by the designated partners. In failure of designated partners to appoint any subsequent auditor within the prescribed time, the partners may appoint such subsequent auditors. Further, where no new auditor has been appointed before 30 days prior to the end of the financial year, the auditor who is already holding the office, he is assumed to be reappointed. Okay, so this is one portion which we missed, that if the partners are not at all, the auditors is not at all being appointed by subsequent partners, and this particular auditor who was to retire, means he is already in the existence, he will not assume the retirement because no appointment is there for the new one, and he will continue as such, provided his appointment is is not restricted by the LLP agreement, and secondly, the majority of partners have determined that he should be reappointed and have given a notice to this effect to the LLP. So these two things must be there for the reappointment. Normally what happens, the partners, there is a, normally this only happens, what better I say, that subsequent auditors are not at all appointed and nothing is given to the registrar. So he assumes that whosoever is the previous auditor will continue to be the auditor of the LLP in future also. I think. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Next is this is the last one in LLP, and this is Mr. A and Mr. B are partners of registered partnership firm. Now B has been declared as an insolvent by the court. Now Mr. A wants to convert the LLP into convert this partnership into LLP. Is it possible? Yes.
Sir, it's not possible.
Not possible because after insolvency, we have to dissolve the firm.
We have to
Okay.
end the partnership.
Okay. Now, how many partners are there in the old partnership firm? 2. There is one more reason why it cannot be converted into LLP is that one partner cannot run the LLP because it's a partnership.
Sir, he
LLP
can
is also-
invite other partners.
Sorry?
Sir, he can invite other partners.
But
No, no, he can't. Because it's this partnership agreement was done by both of them. So he will have to make a new partnership firm if he has to invite someone else.
Yes, a new partnership form means LLP will be a new thing. There is no provision of conversion. And even if actually these are 2 partners, right? If you are saying that he is inviting, okay, let me just change the situation. Let me just say that Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C are the partners of the registered partnership firm. Mr. B has been declared as insolvent by the court. Now Mr. A and Mr. C, they want to convert the partnership into LLP. Can they do that?
No, sir, because the agreement which they did when they all were partners, so they can't this partnership should end. So
Yeah,
they
this
have to make a new partnership to convert into LLP.
very correct. And one more important thing over here is that when one person becomes insolvent, his liabilities are shared by other partners also in piecemeal way, in the piecemeal distribution way in case of partnership. Okay, and when the things are being distributed in piecemeal, it means the winding up procedure will be there. So the partnership has to come to an end. Now Mr. A and Mr. C wants to continue the business, and they want, because they have seen that their friend Mr. B, who was partner before, has now become insolvent. Now they are planning that okay, he became insolvent. Why? Because there were, had this been a limited liability partnership, Mr. B would not have become insolvent, because his liability would have been limited to the money he has invested. Okay, in such a situation, what will happen? They would like to, if they want to start a new business with 2 partners, that is Mr. A and Mr. C, and they want to have a LLP in place of partnership, they can do so. It is possible to have that. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So that is what the answer is. So no, it's not possible to convert into LLP. When the firm consists of 2 partners and one of them declares insolvent, the firm gets dissolved automatically. And accordingly, dissolved firm cannot be converted into LLP. Further, let me tell you, there is no process of conversion of partnership into LLP as such in the law. Okay, they have to, reconstruct. There has to be a reconstruction of the complete organization. Then only it can happen, because everything will be new. They will have a new agreement, new, everything will be new. And now they will be having a limited liability, legal existence, and all this will happen. And that will ensure their worth being a LLP. Okay, so that is about LLP. So any other questions if you have regarding LLP, we can take a couple of questions over here and can proceed. I hope you all have written the difference between company, LLP and partnership, that is the most important.
Yes, sir, done.
Because this will actually give you an insight of how you have to deal with the cases. And as I have already told you, I will be giving you the case laws in your exams, final exams. Okay, so you have to apply your mind in order to solve and resolve those case laws. If you will not be able to, then you will not be able to do my paper. So whatever is being taught, these classes which I am conducting for resolving the case and case laws are very important for all of you to have it. Okay. And tomorrow we will be taking Sale of Goods Act. Okay, so be prepared for that. I think yesterday itself I told you that we will be taking Sale of Goods Act. Okay, so can take a one question from Sale of Goods Act so that it will get started. Okay, so I am just taking one question from Sale of Goods. It's not appearing anyhow. I will share my screen. Hope it is visible to all of you. First most question, very simple. A agrees to deliver his old car valued at 90,000 to B, a car dealer, in exchange of a new car, and agrees to pay a difference in cash. Is it a valid contract of sale? And secondly, what would be your answer if he exchanges the car against the new car and does not pay any money? Two situations are there. For this, you may have to refer to section 4 of the Indian contract, the Sale of Goods Act 1930. You can Google it, no problem. Just take out section 4 of Sale of Goods Act 1930 and try to solve this. Or if you have any insight about it, we can discuss it now. Yes. Yes, guys. Any idea? What is the provision regarding the consideration in case of sale of goods? It's all about consideration actually. Yes, Deepti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it a sale? Will it come under the Sale of Goods Act?
So I think yes, because sir, in section 4, a contract of sale of good is a contract whereby the seller transfers or agrees to transfer the property into goods, the buyer for a price. So there can be the exchange, like he can also take the car and he can also give the car.
For a price. And the price should be in money, hard cash. That is given. Just see into the insights of this definition also. So consideration must be in cash. So first situation will not be a sale, but in second situation, because it is partly cash, so it will be considered that it can be a sale and will be covered under the Sale of Goods. So this is the answer. The consideration should be one, so only in the form of price in the matter of the contract of sale. It is still valid if the exchange of goods for goods and in additional price is paid. Means if you are, so here comes one thing. So if you are dealing with certain goods, means you are exchanging certain goods with some goods. Okay, so at least keep 1 rupee as a price in exchange of it and mention it in the document so that you know afterwards this, in order to make the sale of goods applicable on that contract. Okay. Further, therefore, in the first case, A agrees to sell his car for exchange of exchange, and price is a valid sale of contract. But in second case, the car exchange for car and is no price, there is no consideration. Means there is no exchange of the things. Okay. Hence, it is not a valid contract. So in first case, it will be a consideration because the car is exchanged with for at least some price. Okay, Dipti?
Yes, sir.
So we will take the rest of the things in tomorrow's class. So tomorrow we will be having one class if there will be internet and all that thing available. We can have one class tomorrow and onwards also. Okay, so let me take the attendance now. Okay, so yeah, Aditya Chopra, Abhishek Singh Sisodia, Deepak Thanwani, yeah, Deependra Gujar,
Yes, sir.
Lamba,
Yes, sir.
Dheeraj Sharma, Dipti Rakesh,
Deepak Tawani present, sir.
Ravanjit Singh, Harsh Temani, Jaipal Singh Tawar, Jayant Divedi, Anish Piloti,
Present, sir.
Lakshmi Sharma, Manish Kileri, Naman Singh, Arija Gupta, Raghav Singhal, Rishabh Goyal, Ritik Yadav, Sachin Yadav, Sagar Shirvi, Sahil Khandelwal, Sangya Gupta, Shashank Khosla,
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Shubhang, Tanish
Present,
Agarwal,
sir. Raghav Singhal.
yeah, Tanish Agarwal, Ujjwal Gupta, Vikramaditya Singh, Vishal Chaudhary, and Yashasvi.
Present, sir.
So, thank you and have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, be safe,
Thank you, sir.
and enjoy.
Thank you, sir.